Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream, Ringo TV Reactions. Back again with another one. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Okay. Have a lot of news to cover. So as you come into the building, be sure to double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up. So in the news, Trump pretty much announced that there is a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the New World Order, sleeper cells, Iran retaliation, the war. Now, I told you guys that with all of the things, and put a 1 in the chat if you can actually hear me. Shout out to everybody showing up. Put a 1 so that I know that you guys can hear me, that I'm not just talking to myself, right? Okay, appreciate it. Shout out to V-Dub Man in the building. What's going on? Now, we have a lot of things to talk about. I don't believe that we can trust what the administration is doing right now. I don't believe we can trust it. You know, I got some things I want to show you right now. First thing first, I got a whole pile of video clips that we got to run through. First, let's understand that there are sleeper cells that are within the United States right now. The United States think that they can go ahead and set up this ceasefire thing after what they allegedly did to Iran. It's not gonna work. You know, I told you guys that there would be retaliation for what was done. If you think the powers that be is not watching my content, if you believe that the Pentagon, it's not monitoring social media, watching what people talk about, watching how influencers are able to break things down like myself, they're doing that. So what they're doing now is they're trying to make it seem like there's peace, like everything is good and everything is cool. But it's not. They're trying to make it seem like Israel and we call Iran is not going to be at war. They're going to just be at peace and be good buddies. That's not happening, right? There will always be fighting between them two, right? There will always be fighting. Now, the sleeper cells. Look at this particular clip right here, and we're going to talk about it.
The leader of Al-Qaeda just made a statement saying that they have over 1,000 sleeper cells. If you don't know what a sleeper cell is, it is people from their country who are spies, basically, and they are here hiding in the country, waiting to do terror to American citizens. Things they're going to look for: big groups, big gatherings, popular tourist areas, popular areas for people to vacation in the country, areas that are always heavily populated. So in these next coming days, months, weeks, for us to be safe, I would recommend to all of us to stay away from big gatherings, stay away from those heavy populated areas.
Now, remember, guys, I had warned you to stay away from like big gatherings. Remember I talked about, put a 1 in the chat if you heard me talk about that. Because I told you guys, with everything that's going on, it's best to just stay home. You know, I talked about Times Square, you know, big gatherings, stay away from all these 4th of July events. I told you guys to stay away from this type of stuff because it is dangerous. So there are sleeper cells that are within the United States that are preparing their attack. We talked about that in other streams. To the person who said something along the lines of thought it was fake news, I suggest you get ears to listen and learn. When I talked about fake news, I was talking about the video that was on CNN where they were playing a tape over and over and over and over, right? If you're not going to pay attention, then just leave the stream, right? Because I don't have time to talk to children. This is not a children's channel. This is a channel for adults that graduated high school or at least have a GED, right? Now, that being said, let's get into some more content. Let's look at Trump a couple of months ago. Let's check it out.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. We will measure.
Do you see the difference, guys? He talked about peace. He talked about staying out of war. But did the United States do that? No. Now they're trying to tell you that there's a ceasefire. You believe that? I don't.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
But they got into the war. See, this is why you always got to have the receipts on how these men talk, because they talk one way and then they do something totally different.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier.
Do you see that? His agenda is to appear like a peacemaker. Isn't that what he's trying to do now? What he's trying to do now is appear as if though he's a mediator between Israel and what we call Iran. That's what he's pretty much doing. Trying to make it seem like he's a peacemaker. But yet he was just talking about, you know, all this stuff that he want to do. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can pull that tape up. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can pull this up. Because we gotta always replay these things.
This cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over.
Does that sound like peace?
For the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
You see that? So as you can see, this is not about peace. This is about war. This is about control. You see? That's what this is about, guys. And I need for y'all to understand the agenda on what's taking place here. They're trying to make it look like they have a peaceful solution. But we got to remember, bombs were dropped, missiles were launched. Damage was done. You know? They're not playing games. The sleeper cells are out there. You understand? And they're waiting. They're waiting to retaliate. You know? And another thing, reason why they trying to act like they having a ceasefire and all this other stuff is because of the Strait of Hormuz. Right? Let's take a look at that. We're going to get back to Trump in a minute. Let's take a look at this clip so we can get more info.
We have breaking news right now. The United States is urging China to speak to Iran about the Strait of Hormuz. Marco Rubio has urged China publicly to speak with Iranian officials about closing the Strait of Hormuz. Now, here's why this is significant. Earlier this morning, the Iranian parliament unanimously agreed that they should close the Strait of Hormuz. They didn't vote on anything. Iran hasn't closed the strait, hasn't ordered the strait to close, but they agreed, and now the decision is up to Iran's supreme leader. About 20% of the world's oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. If the strait is closed, it'll skyrocket prices worldwide. It'll also be considered an act of war, not just to the United States, but likely to many Middle Eastern countries, and destabilize the Middle East for a long time. And the United States is now urging China to get involved and play diplomacy here. We're going to see what happens. Obviously, if Iran's supreme leader takes this step, it's going to have significant implications worldwide, but we're still waiting what the Iranian response to the U.S. attacks will be. So stay tuned and follow along for more.
Do you see that? So when they're trying to make it seem like they're having peace, it's because they're trying to keep those gates open. Because if they close these gates, we suffer. Everybody suffer. And Iran can do that too. They can do that, but that's going to cause more problems. So I need for you to see the hypocrisy of Trump and how he's trying to act like a man of peace now, when really he's a man of war. You see? Let me get back to that clip. Give me a minute. Let me get back to this.
That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. We will measure our success.
You cannot trust the administration at this point, guys. You can't trust the administration at this point because we have all of these problems going on with ICE. They distracted us with ICE, with the immigrants. Where all those people go? In the midst of all of this war and chaos and madness, where all the people go? Where all the immigrants at? Did they solve those problems? What's really going on with that situation that's happening? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about how America is literally falling apart due to all of the madness that's going on. Nobody's talking about that.
Breaking news, America is cracking from the inside. In the name of security, thousands of undocumented workers are being removed, but no one planned for what happens next. In just 2 weeks, California's Central Valley lost over 4,000 agricultural workers. Crops are rotting in the fields. Supermarkets are reporting price spikes on produce. Farmers say, we can't even find people to pick the food anymore. In Texas, over 1,200 construction projects have halted. Bridges, homes, highways, abandoned mid-build. Everyone's afraid to show up, said a contractor. Nursing homes across Florida now report staff shortages of 30 to 50%. Elderly patients left unbathed, unfed, or alone for hours.
Wow.
One facility shut down completely after half its staff were detained. The U.S. cracked down hard, but forgot one thing. These illegals were the ones keeping the system running. Now garbage piles up and L.A. kids are pulled from daycare as caretakers vanish.
Think about it. The United States is literally falling apart right in front of our eyes. We're distracted by war. The president is acting as if though he's a peacemaker, but yet there's so many problems happening on U.S. soil right now. There's still a war going on right out here. You understand? And also, Russia pretty much said the U.S. lied.
Russia just said that the U.S. lied about Iran pursuing nuclear weapons. Now, why would the U.S. attack them if they lied about nuclear weapons? It makes no sense. It can't be because they have literally 87% export of oil to China, or maybe it's the fact that they sell that oil on a currency that's not the U.S. dollar, or maybe, no, it can't be that. It's also not the fact that Iran is, one of the only countries left besides North Korea that isn't attached to a central bank. It's probably none of that. Wait a second. Weren't there 5 other countries that were attached to a central bank that the U.S. went to war with and demolished completely? Oh, yeah, like Libya, like Iraq, Afghanistan, Cuba. Ring a bell? Now there's only 2 left that we haven't gone to war with? Iran and North Korea. And suddenly, we're fucking bombing them? It sounds like it's not about nuclear weapons, is it? Sounds like it's more about fucking money and control. But the narrative, guys, weapons of mass destruction, it worked for a 20-year war in Iraq and Afghanistan. It better work for this one in Iran. It's the same thing. Run it back. Terrorism. Yep. Run it back. Guys, we're running the same plays over and over and over again. You know why? Because people are so fucking dumb, they believe it every time.
Yep.
Maybe if you guys weren't so fucking stupid, maybe they wouldn't feel so confident going to war. But wait. I don't think you're stupid. So maybe we should share this and let them know none of us are stupid.
See what I mean, guys? They're running the same play. The same exact play. You understand? They're going to try to blame everything on Iran. And then we got these terror cells out here that we got to be concerned with. Now they're claiming peace. But check out what this soldier had to say, which is kind of interesting when you really think about it, because you would think that a soldier would just stay quiet, right? Check out what this guy said. Now, remember, Trump said there's a ceasefire. Everything is good. We good. Okay.
Hey, I just wanted to get on here and say that, you know, we just did the strikes on Iran. We just entered the war officially, so there's not a lot I'm allowed to say, but just for y'all's loved ones' sake, I hope y'all have some supplies. Like, I hope y'all got some a place to go, so some supplies, and things are gonna start getting crazy. So we've been eating a lot of lobster dinners recently, and if you know, you know. Y'all stay safe out there. This is not to scare anybody. This is just to let y'all know that things are about to get pretty wicked. So stay safe and watch out for each other. Amen.
Now, why would he say that? Why would he say that? Because there's certain things they know. They're not going to expose everything, but there's certain things they know, guys. And again, we got about 400 people in the building. You guys, listen, we gotta get this thing straight. When you come to the live, double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up. That is how YouTube sends the notifications out, so more people could come over here so they could get this news report, because they're trying to make us feel as if though everything's done, we could all go back to our lives and be happy. No. The damage was already done. You know, we got to put this all together. They want us to believe that there's a ceasefire so that we could go back to our lives and just act like everything is good. We don't have to be concerned about anything. It's too late for that. It's too late. There are sleeper cells in the U.S., and Trump is not talking about that. He's distracting us with information about ceasefire. That's pretty much what they're doing right now. Let me see if I can pull this up. Trump claims a forever. Listen, think about how this sounds, guys. Trump claims a forever peace in the land of forever wars. But is it all one big illusion? And that's exactly what it is, guys. It's an illusion. It's an illusion, guys. You know, Trump seems to have emerged from the worst crisis in America's stranglement with Iran's Islamic Republic with a win. Now, remember, he said he want to be known as a peacemaker, as this and that. When you study the scriptures and you study how the Antichrist moved, he's going to be a peacemaker. He's going to be a world leader that will be known for doing great and noble things. You know? So they want us to believe that there's going to be peace and no more war, no more fighting, no more drama. No. No. I'm not buying that, because you see stuff like this.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's a scene of complete devastation here. Look at the buildings. Look at these buildings. Look at the buildings here. Right along here. This was Iran's first response following the United States strike on Iran. And just look at the debris down here. Twisted, shredded, ripped apart.
Now, if you notice, they just show you that building. Now, the way news media work is they show you a building and then they make you believe it just happened. I've been covering these kind of stories for a while, guys, and a lot of these buildings been in ruins. But they go to these areas with the cameras and then they publish this on social media, and before you know it, it looks like something just happened, just like the last stream that I did where they were providing fake news to the public, right? They were literally showing a replay. Anytime you go on YouTube and you see these YouTube channels and it says live and it's showing you bombs being dropped or what appears to be bombs, it's really nothing but fireworks. That's all it is, guys. It's just nothing but fireworks. Let me see what else we got, guys. Now, check this out. Now, again, they're telling us that there's a ceasefire and so forth, right? Okay.
We have a breaking news update. Iran has finally responded to Trump's bombing of 3 nuclear sites. Just hours after the U.S. confirmed airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites, Iran went on state television and sent a message directly to Trump and America. And I quote, "Trump, you started it. We will end it."
Wow.
Iranian officials say these strikes violated international law, and the retaliation is not a question of if, but when. And here's the part that should scare everyone. Iranian military says it's activating strategic partners across the region, including armed groups in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. They are even threatening strikes on U.S. bases. Trump has yet to hold a press conference. He has announced the strikes on Truth Social and has been silent since, but he is addressing the nation at 10 p.m. So what happens next? We may be headed for a full-blown war in the Middle East, and this time it started with a president who never got congressional approval.
Which means he just went and did what he wanted to do. You see? He didn't go through the proper channels before exercising authority to strike Iran. He didn't do that. So because of that, there's consequences for that now. And now the American people have to deal with this drama. And this is not cool. That's why I'm saying all this ceasefire stuff, I don't believe that. That's to make us be like, finally, we could get back to, and then boom, all of a sudden, you go back out there. Now you're in those gatherings where everybody's populated the area. And then the terror cell does something. Now it's war all over again with Iran. That's how they get us. They literally programming you. Oh, ceasefire, ceasefire. Now all the American people is like, whew. Finally, man. Trump is doing a great job, man. Let's go back to our lives. You flipping the burgers on the grill and the bomb come down at the gathering. And you wondering what took place. What happened? Those terror cells are still out here. He ain't addressed that. He didn't address that, guys. Let's take a look at this.
Just so we're all clear, America's about to go to war with a country that has 0 nuclear weapons. 0, none. No matter what they tell you, this has been public information that they're expecting you not to know or look for. We are going to war with Iran, a country that barely makes up a fraction of the U.S. Barely 2 Texases. That is the country that Trump is calling a pressing threat. It's also a bold-faced lie. Because what other country do we know has grievances, issues with Iran? Israel. Israel has been trying to get us in this fight for 35 years. For all the American isolationists, this is their fight, not ours. This war is not going to help you or save you. It's definitely not protecting you. This is money coming out of your taxpayer dollars to fund pew-pew-pewing of men, women, and children across the globe. That's what's going on. Do not let Trump or anyone else tell you that this war is going to save you or help you or that it's necessary. It's never been necessary. I'm on the train right now, but please do not be stupid. This is literally ridiculous. And it's a product of miseducation and miscommunication. This never had to be the outcome. Ever.
Do you see, guys? This is why it's very important. It's very important to understand what's going on around you. Now, we're not saying live in fear. We're not saying be fearful, worried, have anxiety. It's to understand what's happening around you. You understand? They've been flooding our eyes and ears with war. But if you listen to what the woman is saying, they're trying to make Iran look like this bully, when really it's America that's the bully. You might live in America and be like, nah, man, we got the best military. We got this and that and all this other junk. Listen, I've already learned from 9/11 how the United States work. It taught me everything I need to know. And the reason why they're doing this ceasefire nonsense is because they understand that they have people like myself that are on social media waking people up, making them see what's going on, right? So that you're prepared. Number one, I don't recommend nobody be in crowded areas in any major cities, because those are the places they normally target for terror attacks. You know, it's like in the United States, it's due for a terror attack. If you really think about it, it's been a minute. So it's like, I would not be hanging out at no gathering anywhere. You know how the weather been hot lately? Everybody want to come outside. That is the recipe for disaster. So you got to be mindful of that. With all of this war talk, It's not just going to be peace and everything is good. Be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, seeketh whom he may devour. So you have to be prepared and understanding what's going on so that you and your family remain safe. Because I'm telling you, the president can talk what he want to talk, but who's protecting you? Who's protecting you from these sleeper cells that are out here? Look how many times we had incidents where the United States was at war with people in the Middle East, and they had sleeper cells right over here committing crimes and blowing stuff up and doing all sorts of crazy stuff to the American people. So you got to be mindful of what's going on and don't put yourself in places where they would target. They're not going to target a place where nobody's at. They're not going to target a place with less traffic. They're going to target places where a lot of people are gathering, where a lot of casualties can take place, women and children, because that will be the headline on the media. And the United States know this. They don't care. You understand? Again, those of you that know the true story behind 9/11, I'm not talking about you people that follow the government and believe everything they say. I'm talking about you that know exactly what took place, the real story. Once you understood that story, you're supposed to know that anything else they tell you is a lie. Anything else they tell you is not true. I don't care how much it sounds convincing, it's not true. You know what I mean? The gold that was in those towers, where is it? Where's the gold? They took the gold out of those buildings before they came down, guys. They lied about everything. You see? And just like this so-called situation here, they're just lying to us over and over. I showed you yesterday how they promote fake news, propaganda news, to get us on edge because they want to promote fear in the American people. That's what they do. They want to promote fear. They want us to worry. They want us to be, joining in with the fight. Like, yeah, go to war, go to war. They want us to do that. But the only way that's going to really happen is when we have a sleeper cell that actually kills some people over here. That is when the American people are going to call for blood. And they're going to blame it on Iran. They're going to blame it on them. You know? So don't believe all of this ceasefire stuff. There will always be war with these two. It's not going to end that way. People are not forgiven. You understand? This is not even our fight. You heard what the black woman said. This is not even our fight. But we're in it. And now you got to be concerned about sleeper cells now. That got to be on the back of your mind. Because something is going to happen. It's early and it's quiet. You don't notice it's quiet right now? It's very quiet. Normally when it's very quiet, something's going on. Something is going on and they don't want nobody to know. Something is going on and they don't want nobody to understand what's happening.
If this president is thinking about putting us in a position where we're in a war with Iran, the consequences will be absolutely unacceptable and tragic in terms of the young men and women who are American soldiers who would be sent and deployed into something that was completely avoidable. In a Harris administration one, we wouldn't have gotten ourselves into this mess. I have good reason, based on everything we know publicly, to suspect and to be concerned that his motivation is more out of self-interest than it is the interest of the American people. You know, I'm traveling our country and meeting with the families who are sending their sons and daughters to these endless wars. And this president better take very seriously any threat that he makes to enter us into another war and send our young men and women into battle.
Again, listen to what the soldier said.
Hey, I just wanted to get on here and say that, you know, we just did the strikes on Iran. We just entered the war officially, so there's not a lot I'm allowed to say, but just for y'all's loved ones' sake, I hope y'all have some supplies. Like, I hope y'all got some a place to go, so some supplies, and things are gonna start getting crazy. So we've been eating a lot of lobster dinners recently, and if you know, you know.
Be sure to double tap the screen, guys. Double tap the screen to get the likes up.
Y'all stay safe out there. This is not to scare anybody. This is just to let y'all know that things are about to get pretty wicked.
Now, he says things are about to get pretty wicked. He's telling you because he has inside information about what's going down. A lot of people in the military know what's going on, guys, but they're not going to tell you nothing.
So stay safe and watch out for each other. Amen.
So he's telling you that Trump is telling you, oh, yeah, there's a ceasefire. You don't got nothing to worry about. We good to go. You know, no. Something ain't right, guys. Check this out, guys.
So Iran has come out and stated that all three sites were empty.
Wow.
All three of them. Wow. This is unbelievable. You mean to tell me that we wasted all of these resources for what? Empty sites.
Yep.
They came out and stated that they had emptied those sites beforehand weeks ago because they knew it was coming.
Yep.
Wow.
So that means that they lied to us, guys. They made it, listen, Trump made it seem like, yeah, you know, we got this, we got that, we blowing stuff up. Remember what he said here? Check it out.
This cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
That mean all of that was a hoax, man. Let's get back to what the brother said. Let's rewind that thing back.
Unbelievable.
Hold on. There we go.
So Iran has come out and stated that all three sites were empty. All three of them. Wow. This is unbelievable. You mean to tell me that we wasted all of these resources for what? Empty sites. They came out and stated that they had emptied those sites beforehand weeks ago because they knew it was coming.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow. Unbelievable. So we sat here, put our people in jeopardy like this for what? For what?
For what?
For nothing.
That's right.
They came out and stated that all three sites were empty. Unbelievable.
That's crazy, man. That is absolutely crazy. So that means the whole time we believe in that what Trump said on the news is factual. The way they're boasting about, yeah, the military did this. They had all of this intelligence of where the weapons were and they destroyed this. All a hoax, guys. All a hoax. So we don't really know what Iran have. We don't know. Because they moved all of that stuff in advance. You don't think they got their own intelligence? See, here's the thing. When you listen to the media, they make it seem like the United States is the only one that got intelligence on what's going on. No, Iran have their own too. And they already got insight. Oh, yeah, they planning to do this. They plan to, hey, move all that stuff. Let's go. It's just like how if you're a drug dealer in the hood, you got word, the feds is coming, police is coming, you're going to move the work. You ain't going to keep it at the trap house. You're going to move it. So by the time they go raid the place, ain't nothing there. They might have got y'all in handcuffs, but ain't no work here. So y'all don't got nothing on us. So while everybody's celebrating thinking, Trump was able to neutralize these locations, they never did anything. They never did anything. So those weapons or whatever they got is still available. Because here's the thing. How were they able to strike Israel? So they didn't really strike anything. I mean, they didn't really neutralize anything. Iran have their power. They have their weapons still. And the United States know that. So they're trying to confuse us with peace now because they know that at any minute, something can happen to us over here. Remember, I made videos warning you guys that there are rumors that New York may be affected and Los Angeles. Now, those are just rumors. Because normally those are the testing grounds for these attacks. For whatever reason, New York, Los Angeles, they always testing their evil in these areas. You know? And people need to be more informed about that. Like I said, the sleeper cells, they're out here.
The leader of Al-Qaeda just made a statement saying that they have over 1,000 sleeper cells. If you don't know what a sleeper cell is, it is people from their country who are spies, basically, and they are here hiding in the country waiting to do terror.
Waiting to do terror. This is why I tell you guys, don't live in fear. Stay prayed up. Get right with the Most High. Because you don't know who these entities are. You don't know who they are and when they're going to come forward to do whatever they got to do. You know? Well, in hiding simply mean that, you know, they're just out here living a normal life. You would never suspect them. You know? You would never suspect who these people are.
To American citizens, things they're going to look for, big groups, big gatherings, popular tourist areas, popular areas for people to vacation in the country, areas that are always heavily populated.
Because more casualties, the better. You understand? They need the casualties. That's why 9/11 was such a success, guys. That's why 9/11 was such a success, because of the amount of souls that were destroyed. That's why. When all those souls got destroyed in those towers, all the firemen, everybody that died, that is what pushed the United States to go to war. You understand? And the American people wanted blood. The American people wanted blood because of what took place.
So in these next coming days, months, weeks, for us to be safe, I would recommend to all of us to stay away from big gatherings.
Yep.
Stay away from those heavy populated areas.
Stay away from those heavy populated areas, guys. See, here's the thing. We live in this world, but we're not of this world. I live in this world, but I'm not of this world. My job is to keep my family safe. My job is to instruct the viewers on ways that they can be safe. With all the stuff that's going on, right? The last place you want to be is an open area where it's heavily populated with people having fun. Now, I'm not saying don't live your life. I'm not saying don't have fun. But while things are brewing, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. It's not the right time to be out partying at the bar, going here, going there. Even in Vegas and different places, things can happen out there too. It's heavily populated on the strip. There's a lot of things that could go down. You understand? And you don't want to be there. Now, the media is not going to talk about it because they need those casualties. I keep telling you, in war, there have to be casualties. Somebody have to die in order for them to push their agenda. You understand? The New World Order, the one world government. That's what's going to stop all war, when it's a one world government. But everybody must be in agreement. All of these wars are leading to the New World Order under control of Satan, the Antichrist, the one they call the devil. All of this evil that's going on in the world, that's what this is about. This ain't about nothing else. This is about suppressing information, keeping everybody in fear so that they can continue to manipulate information gather resources from other nations. Just like in Africa, look what's going on over there. That whole place been compromised. It used to be melanated people running it. Now look who's running the show. Do you see that? So now, with all the things that are going on right now, do you really believe that there's a ceasefire? Do you really believe that Trump claims a forever peace in the land of forever wars? You really believe that? That would be a miracle in and of itself. That's a lie. That's a lie to make us put our guard down so we could go out there and just live our life. And you're supposed to live your life. At the same time, you got to be vigilant and you got to be smart. Because ain't no telling what they're doing. You know, ain't no telling what's going on. It says, and he followed up by announcing a ceasefire between Iran and Israel due to come into force later Tuesday. Ceasefires in the Middle East are often fragile and fleeting, as was underscored by attacks by both Israel and Iran in the hours before the truce was due to be established. Listen, there's no truce, guys. This is just a joke. And if you fall for this okie doke, you're going to be sorry. It's always good to be prepared mentally on what's going on. I understand most of you might be Americans. You might rock with Trump and all of that other stuff. But at the end of the day, we don't even supposed to be involved in this war. Why every time there's always a war, they drag us in when we got problems over here? We got problems with inflation, prices going up, rent going up, mortgage going up, taxes. People out here struggling. You got ICE. You got the migrants. They destroying cities, looting. Did the government solve those problems? Did Trump solve those problems yet? He can't even solve those problems. They calling in National Guard, Marines. Did they solve those problems? Did they solve the poverty problems? But they got funding for wars. They got money for nuclear weapons. Oh, that comes first before they deal with the citizens of the United States. They don't really care about us, guys. We're literally prisoners in the United States. They don't really care about us. They'll make you believe they do, but really they don't, because all of this violence and war talk is putting us at risk. Shout out to Forever Studios for gifting 5 people with memberships. Make sure y'all shout them out. He gifted y'all memberships. Right? Again, guys, be sure to double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up. It's very important that you guys do that. That's how you're able to help push the video into the algorithm so more people are able to get this information. Right? Let me see. Let me go back to that. Where is that thing here? Let me go back to this.
We have a breaking news update. Iran has finally responded to Trump's bombing of 3 nuclear sites. Just hours after the U.S. confirmed airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites, Iran went on state television and sent a message directly to Trump and America. And I quote, "Trump, you started it. We will end it."
We will end it. That's a threat. That's a threat, guys. You can't take that stuff lightly. You cannot. Listen, when you got enemies, man, look, when you got enemies, you can never trust them. If I have enemies that are in the flesh, I never would trust them. Once they cross the line, there's no There's no way of return. If that cannot be nipped in the bud right away, I can never trust that individual because I don't know what they're doing. They're most likely plotting. So Iran can say one thing and then do something else. They said, oh, you started it. We're going to end it. But now they're telling you there's a ceasefire? Nah. I don't believe that. They got something up their sleeve right now, guys. They got something up their sleeve that is waiting for the American people. And they're just waiting, sitting back, wondering when they're going to strike. And it's normally when your guard is down and you have forgotten, because moving forward, the damage is already done on both sides. And the United States put their nose in other people's backyard business. So somebody's going to pay for that.
Just so we're all clear, America's about to go to war with a country that has 0 nuclear weapons. 0, none. No matter what they tell you, this has been public information that they're expecting you not to know or look for. We are going to war with Iran, a country that barely makes up a fraction of the U.S. Barely 2 Texases. That is the country that Trump is calling a pressing threat.
Wow. Ain't that amazing? But, you know, again, people in the United States are not educated to understand any of these things. We just go with what we see on the news. You understand? That's why it's so easy for the United States to talk about who they're going to nuke and blow up. They're the ones who are the bullies. Did you hear what she said? Because some people just not paying attention.
We are going to war with Iran, a country that barely makes up a fraction of the U.S. Barely 2 Texases. That is the country that Trump is calling a pressing threat.
Wow.
Also a bold-faced lie. Because what other country do we know has like grievances, issues with Iran? Israel. Israel has been trying to get us in this fight for 35 years. For all
35 years they've been trying to get us into this fight.
the American isolationists, this is their fight, not ours. This war is not going to help you or save you. It's definitely not protecting you. This is money coming out of your taxpayer dollars to fund pew-pew-pewing of men, women, and children.
And that's exactly what we did when we was going after bin Laden. You understand? When we was going after bin Laden, when we was going after all of those guys, all of the people that they claim was the evildoers, we was going after them and killing men, women, and children. We didn't even care. But now if they did that to us, then now we want to cry. Shout out to Marlo for the $1.99. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. When they went after Hussein, when they went after him, you know, everybody was excited and happy. The United States know how to make everybody else the boogeyman, but think about how we look to other nations. Think about how Trump appears to people that live in the Middle East and other parts of the globe. They look at him as a dictator and some sort of lunatic who's abusing his power. That's how they see us. And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. As much as they look at Trump as a dictator and an evildoer, think about how they feel about us as Americans. You didn't do nothing to nobody, but they just don't like you because you're here. Think about that. You know, it's similar to how black people feel when, let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, you have a black man who's a thug and he commits a crime. What normally happens is when a black man commits a crime, quote unquote, white people, Asians, start to look at black people as a whole. Oh, they all violent. They all commit crimes. They all killers. We need to hold our person, be concerned and fearful. You see how that works? Okay, now, when you have someone like Trump doing these type of things, people from other parts of the world, they see all Americans, white, black, everybody, just the same way they see Trump. They see us all the same. And they don't like us. And this is why when you visit their countries, they be on edge because they don't know what to expect from you. Most of them don't even want you in their country. You know? So the last thing you want to be is a person who is hated all over the world. And a lot of these nations hate Americans because of the things that we do. You have to make sure you're on the right side of history. The right side. When the pandemic was going on and they was telling everybody to take the shot, right? In New York, they forced everybody to go take the shot or they lose their job. What kind of system oppressed their people in a way where they force them to take a shot that they don't even want and then tell them, if you don't do it, you're going to lose your job? That's America for you guys. But we want to talk about all these other nations and, oh, they're oppressing their people. We're being oppressed over here. Can't you see that? When I lived in New York, they were forcing all of us on the job to take a shot. I said, no, I'm not doing that. You're not going to tell me to put some potion in my system, and I don't even know what the heck it is. Number one, I'm not sick. I feel perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong with me. Oh, you got to take it because, you got to stand 6 feet away from everybody, having us wearing these dumb masks, having us doing all of this dumb stuff, and then threatening to take away your livelihood. Anytime a system threatens to take away your livelihood in exchange to take a shot, that's the devil. That's the devil. That's the devil trying to kill you. That's not a good place to be. You understand? So I said, nope, I'm not doing it. Some of my coworkers, they was like, nope, I'm not doing it. And they got rid of us. They gave us our paperwork, said, you're done. You don't got no more job. And I worked hard for that career. Took so many different exams, study. Think about you folks that been to college, did all of this work, built up your whole life, and then they just take it all away from you. All sorts of certificates I got, all sorts of credentials. They just said, we're taking it all away because you didn't want to take a shot. But you think I'm going to trust that system, a system that want to oppress people? No. And then when I was out of work for about 7 months, they sent a letter in the mail saying, hey, we really would like for you to come back because they were suffering. I was one of the top guys. One of the top guys in the agency. We want you to come back, but under one condition. Now, you needed 3 shots to stay at the company. They said, you can come back and we'll reimburse you all the money you lost, but we need for you to take at least 1 shot. Then we can welcome you back. What? You bugging, bro. I said, no, I'm out. And it just got to the point where I was like, look, I got to get out of New York completely because this place is sick. You know what I mean? It's sick. I got tired of all of the terror attacks, the crime, just everything is just bad. Those that still live in New York, they know what it is. You have a lot of people relocating, man, because they know what time it is. I ain't saying you can't live there. It depends on which part you at. But at the end of the day, I've seen what oppression look like. And I know good and well that here in America, we're being oppressed through taxes, inflation. Somebody said, well, my company just increased my wage. Yeah, but the cost of living went up too. Gas prices went up. Insurance went up. Taxes is everything going up. Nothing is getting better. You know what I mean? People can't hardly pay their rent. It's either you pay your rent or you buy groceries. Make your choice. Make your choice. People struggling out here for real, for real. Not everybody. Some of you might be good financially, but for the most part, a lot of Americans are struggling and there's no help for you. But the government got trillions of dollars for war. They could solve all the problems that people are having right now, but they don't care. You're just a slave at the end of the day. You're just a number that can be replaced. When they fire you from your job, they hire somebody else. Nobody cares. You know? But what you need to be concerned with right now is these sleeper cells that they're not addressing.
The leader of Al-Qaeda just made a statement saying that they have over 1,000 sleeper cells. If you don't know what a sleeper cell is, it is people from their country who are spies, basically, and they are here hiding in the country, waiting to do terror.
Now think about it. If they're already here hiding, that means they're sending back intel on exactly where they think they should attack. Where would be the best location? Where does the most people gather? That's why I had to get out of New York, because it's like the whole of New York is a terror spot, because it's overcrowded. If something go on out there, man, it's going to be major news. Major news. You know, Los Angeles, you know, even in Florida, all of these spots, man, there's some major areas where people be congregating at. And if something was to pop off, my goodness, man, it'll be a disaster zone, you know? So these are the things that people need to be concerned with right now, because they talking about ceasefire and all of this stuff like everything is peaceful again. I'm not buying that. That is to make everybody put their guard down, because they know how social media is. They know we're all on social media talking about these stories. And in their mind, they're like, you know what? Let's calm the people down. Let's make them believe that there's peace and everybody's in agreement. Well, how do we know Iran is in agreement? 100%. How do we know they're not ready to retaliate for what the United States did? We don't know. Just like when you have gangs, gang affiliation, gang fighting, shootings, crime, black on black crime. When one man shoot another, they might cool down for a bit. They might even let a whole year go by, but somebody's going to retaliate. You know, where if you see a rapper get shot, somebody else going to die behind that. That's just the way it goes. They wait for things to calm down. They wait for the smoke to clear, and then they strike.
To American citizens, things they're going to look for: big groups, big gatherings, popular tourist areas, popular areas for people to vacation in the country, areas that are always heavily populated. So in these next coming days, months, weeks, for us to be safe, I would recommend to all of us to stay away from big gatherings, stay away from those heavy populated areas.
Stay away from those areas, guys. And y'all know, in y'all neck of the woods, y'all know where to stay away from, man. You know, y'all know where to stay away from. Those are the type of places you don't want to be. You don't want to be in those areas, because when you have stuff like these sleeper cells nonsense, and you have this soldier that we showed you earlier talking about, oh, you know, I hope you have supplies. I hope you got this because it's going to get real wicked. And he's a soldier saying this. What do he know that we don't know? What do he know that we don't know? I mean, it's easy to stay safe. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't move that way. Like the way I move, I'm very strategic, careful, and calculated. And a lot of people don't move like that. You know, even when it comes down to going to a big box store, a Walmart, you know, fam, I don't park right in the front of the store. I don't park right where everybody's parked. Man, I be in the back all the way out. I don't care if I got to walk with the cart all the way to the end. I don't care. I don't want to be near the store. I don't want to be near where everybody is. I don't want to be near there. You see what I mean? Because I understand to keep my eyes open. I don't want to be where chaos can take place. And it's not about being in fear. It's about being smart. Being smart and knowing how to move. If I don't got to be at a certain place, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'd rather just order what I need, have that stuff delivered. Because right now is not the time to be gathering in places where it's a lot of people, because that's how the sleeper cells are able to get that intel back to Iran or wherever. You never know who's going to do it, because I already told you guys, and some people get mad at me because I say this. The next false flag operation that they're going to do is not coming from Iran. It's coming from the United States, guys. What? Yeah. The next false flag terror operation that they're going to launch in the U.S. soil is coming from America. Not Iran. They're going to stage it. And it's going to be nasty. And people going to die. We've seen this happen already, guys. The thing is, a lot of you are in denial about what this country been doing. You've been in denial. You know, you feel it. You know something ain't right. I understand a lot of you are patriotic. You got a lot of military families. I get it. I get all the patriotism. I get it. I get it. But y'all got to be smarter than that. It's one thing to fight for your country and have respect for the soldiers, the military, all that stuff. It's all respected and honorable. But let's not be slow. The United States been doing some evil things, man. And they've been throwing stones, hiding their hands, and we the ones that's going to pay for it. All we want to do is live in peace. A lot of you don't want no trouble. You don't want no war. You don't want no drama. You know, I had somebody earlier in the comments. They was like, Ringo, what are you going to do if they send you a letter saying you got to go fight in wars? I'm not fighting nobody war. And they not looking for me anyway. You know what I mean? You got to be a particular type of person for them to contact you. Number one, they're not just looking for anybody, right? But I'm not fighting in nobody's war. You could go ahead and fight if you want. Well, we're going to send you to jail if you don't fight. Well, that's clear indicator right there that your government is of the devil. Because if they want to punish you for not participating in their war, that is proof that your government is evil. It's one thing if you're the type of person who want to go into war, that's what you want to do, then you go do it. I don't got no time for that. Right? I don't got no time for that mess. But if there was war and they start drafting people, a lot of your sons and daughters will die for nothing. Not for something that was honorable, not for defending your country against a real enemy. It's for the agenda of some greedy person out there that just power hungry. You know? And that's what it really is about. It's about power. It's about money, control, you know? Controlling the people, keeping the people dumbed down and docile. And here's the thing. While all of this is happening, where's the Christian church? Where's all of these church leaders? What are they doing while all of this is happening? Taking the money from the people. They're busy taking the money in these churches. With all of their prayers and all of their believing in God, how come nothing is happening in those situations? How come they're not getting the people prepared? Why is it that these churches never talk about these issues? They never talk about these issues, guys. Shouldn't pastors and preachers be on the front line preparing the people, getting their minds right? They don't care because these churches are businesses. All of these churches are nothing but businesses that are there just to make money. They don't care about you good people. They don't care. All they want to tell you about is send your money to the church, pay a tithe, sow a seed, and believe God for a miracle. It's all one big hustle, man. The day I started seeing politicians in churches being endorsed by pastors, I already knew the church was of the devil too. I knew they were of the devil. You know? Let me see. It's just sad, man. And see, here's the thing. All of this leads up to the New World Order that the Bible speaks of. The one world government where we won't be able to buy or sell save we have the mark of the beast. I mean, think about it, guys. Most of you don't even use money no more. Have you noticed that? Most of you don't even use money no more. You don't. You don't even use money. You might here and there pull out some cash, but for the most part, we don't even use money no more because we're in a digital age. You know what I mean? You just swipe a card, pay, get out. We do that in the supermarkets, the big box stores, everywhere we go. So this is why when they release the mark of the beast, the majority of us, well, not me, but the majority of people are going to take the mark. Let me get that for you in the scriptures so that you got some sort of spiritual knowledge, right, on what's going on. Let me see. And again, guys, do me a solid, man. Double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up. It's very important that we do that. I know a lot of you are new, probably don't even know about me, probably never heard of me before. Whatever the case is, I'm Ringo TV. I'm a content creator, music producer, film director, and I like doing commentary and speaking on various stories and sharing my truth regarding these particular issues. And I'm not really into a lot of politics type stuff in terms of taking sides. I believe that all of these people are puppets for the agenda of the New World Order. So I'm not affiliated with any candidates or any side. I'm not a part of none of that. My job is to kind of inform the people on what I'm seeing and what's going on. And I don't believe anybody should trust these people because they don't have our best interests at heart. They really don't. So let me get this for you. Because a lot of you are going to take the mark when that day come, and it's not going to be nice for you. We already done going down that path. You know, you have a lot of people, they already got the real ID. They had upgraded their ID. Let me see. Okay. So we're going to look at Revelations. Book of Revelations. We're going to look at that and kind of get some understanding. Okay. All right. So now let's put this on the screen so that you good people can get this information. And I call you good people because that's the goal. The goal is for you to be good people, not evil. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to do is speak life into your life. You might be wicked. You might have issues, but you got to repent and get right with the Most High. Because it doesn't matter what our background is. We should all want the same goal, which is peace. Take care of your family, mind your business. Just do what you got to do. Right? So now let me make this a little larger so that we can read this. Right? So now in Revelations, right, it says, let me see. And hold on. Revelation chapter 13, verse 15 to 18, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's what's going to happen in these last days. Those of us that don't bow down to the beast system, they're gonna kill us. You know what I mean? They're gonna literally wipe us out. And this is all written of in the scriptures. So it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. Right? Let me see if I could do this because I'm not sure if you could see that, especially if you're on a phone. And that no man might buy or sell, save he have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, right? It's the number of a man, meaning 3, right? Now, the number of a man, M-A-N, 3, right? And his number is 600, threescore and 6. That's 666, guys. That's the devil's number. You see? So this is the bottom line. With all of these wars, it's the new world order. Because in order for there to be true peace in the land, all world leaders are going to have to come together and unite under one system to control everybody. And they're going to create a financial system that says we won't be able to buy or sell. This is what the pandemic was about when they wanted everybody to take the shot. We weren't able to buy or sell, save you have the mark of the beast. If you don't take that shot, Ringo, you're not going to have a job. Without the job, you can't pay your bills, can't take care of your kids. So they shut me down economically through fear of taking a mark. Do you see how that was? That was a foreshadowing of how many people would take the mark. So now everybody that took that shot, they took it under coercion. They were pressured. They didn't do it because of free will. Now you had some people that took the shot out of free will, but then the most, they took it out of fear of losing their job. What did the scripture says? You won't be able to buy or sell unless you have that mark. So what do you think they're going to do in those days when they release the mark of the beast? It's going to be just like how it was during the pandemic. They're going to tell you, if you don't take this thing, we're shutting down your bank accounts. We're shutting down your credit union. We're shutting down your PayPal, your Cash App. Nothing is going to work unless you have that mark. So you're going to starve to death. You're going to be outside robbing and stealing and killing. This is where this world is headed, guys. That is where it's headed. Think about it, man. We don't even use money. Very rare. People pull cash out. So everything is being digital processed right now. They could press a button, stop your account, freeze your accounts. You look in your savings, you might have all this money saved up. They can press a button and wipe it out. You don't have no physical resources, physical money that you have. We don't even keep gold anymore, which is the real money. Instead, we have this paper, and now it's been reduced from paper to a digital number. So we're in a vulnerable state. If something was to happen in the economy and they crash the whole system, they just press a button, it wipes your account out. You don't got no money now. If you try to go to the bank right now, let's say you have a large sum of money in the bank. You try to go take your money out. You got to go through all this process to get that money. They don't want you to take out that money because they need your money in the bank so they could get interest off of. When you have a savings and your money is not in a particular account that gain interest, I'm talking about real interest, and it's just sitting there, the powers that be is using your money to loan other people to make money off your money. That's how banking work. You keep your money in there talking about, my balance in my checking account is $10,000. Well, they're using your $10,000 to loan somebody else. That's how they make money. And they know everything you got. They know everything you got. Think about that. We're in a time where the banks know everything you got. They know where all your income come from. They're keeping tabs on you. Nobody should know your business. So we're being monitored at all times by the powers that be. We're being monitored. Why do you think they killed the guy that was running Cash App? Who's running Cash App now? They killed the CEO guy. Y'all remember? Did y'all forget all of this? Did y'all forget? They killed him to get him out of the way because they realized a lot of people were getting money through Cash App. They want their cut. They want to tax you. They want to set the system up. Once they killed that guy and got him out of the way, now they set up Cash App in a way now where they monitoring everything you do. How many of you use Cash App right now and you try to send somebody money? And now they tell you, you got to type in what the money's for. Put a 1 if you got to do that. Whether you got a business Cash App or a personal Cash App, when you send anybody money, you got to type in what the money is for. It says required. Why? Because they're monitoring everything you do. It's nobody's business what it's for. I'm sending somebody some money. Why I got to tell you what it's for? They're monitoring you for tax purposes. They don't care about the American people, man. They don't care. They want to know all your business. All your business. Your cell phone, listen. You could delete anything on your cell phone. The data's still there. If the government want to bring it up, they could bring it up. No matter what it is. There's no privacy, man. So we're being oppressed over here, guys. Encryption don't work, guys. Listen, the powers that be got the equipment, the tech that can bypass any sort of encryptions or whatever you got on your phone. They could get whatever info they got, guys. If you committed a crime and they know you had your cell phone, they can bring up all of that info, deleted videos, text messages, all of that stuff, and you'll be literally crucified, bro. They can do that. So we got a lot of issues over here that we deal with as Americans. Each and every one of us deal with our own personal struggles, our own personal problems. And the last thing we need is to have these concerns about sleeper cells and, terror organizations. And all of this comes about us because the U.S. keep messing with people, being bullies. And then those people who was bullied, now they want to retaliate. Now they want to retaliate and cause harm on the American people. And now your children suffer. When I came out to North Carolina, I didn't come out here to be concerned with war and stuff. It's so that I can take care of my fam. Just like how you are trying to take care of your family and take care of yourself. The last thing you want to be concerned with is war and destruction. That's why I always tell you guys, watch out with these content creators that are always pushing doom and gloom, because they specialize in doing that. You have some content creators, they're always talking about, the coming war, and the war is coming, and ooh, and they get you all riled up rather than calming your nerves, you know what I mean? Telling you not to live in fear. You can live your life, ladies and gentlemen. Just don't do nothing that put you in a bad situation. You know what I mean? Learn how to have fun at the house. Learn how to crank up the grill. Learn how to set up a nice TV, watch some movies with the family. It's a nice day. Put the TV in the backyard outside. You know what I mean? Have some recreational time around the house. Do something fun. Go on a road trip. Do something that, is local or whatever that, you can still enjoy your life. But right now, to be in these big open events and going to concerts, I'm not doing that mess. Not now, bro. Now is not the time. Now is not the time, man. You got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Can't be, man. Can't. And then with all of the drama that's going on, you have a lot of religious people that don't even pray. They don't even serve God. They're just hypocrites, man, on all fronts. Think about all the religious people that are in the world. And yet, there's no peace. There's nothing but crime. But you got all these people claiming that they serve God. They don't serve God, man. They serve the devil. People got to be honest with themselves. They act like they serve God, but they hate one another. I got a lot of people that are religious. They hate me. Matter of fact, most of the people that hate me claim they believe in the Bible. That's what they do. It's sick, man. My job is just to look out for the people, using my platform to bring awareness, help the people to stay safe, give you a word of encouragement, because a lot of you might be going through your own personal issues. See, here's the thing, guys. I got my own issues that I go through. I got my own things that I'm concerned with. Just like you got your own issues that you're concerned with. We don't need no more pressure on our mind. Look at all the people crashing out. People crashing out left and right. People giving up on life. You know what I mean? Just yesterday, you know what I'm saying? I was talking to a young brother about a house. You know what I mean? It's a brother that lived right in the community here. I talked to the cat for about 1 hour, giving him some real sound advice on how to make moves. And I was talking to him like a son because he's a young guy. And I was talking to him like a son because he was trying to sell some, I guess, some service that he does and whatnot. And I don't need the service, but at the same time, I wanted to instill some values in the young man to give him the confidence to go out there and win. In other words, just because I turn you down and I don't need the service and you're not going to make no money doesn't mean I'm going to let you go empty-handed. So what I did is I gave him a lot of game, and game is very expensive. You understand? But I gave that to him for free, and I started to show him how to compete with the other people that are doing the same kind of job. I told him how to market himself better because I didn't like the approach. I didn't like certain things that he was doing. And I gave him game, real game on how to market to engage with customers in a community. I made it very clear to him, nobody really cares about you. Half of the people you walk up to don't even want to talk to you because a lot of people are antisocial. And you're black. So that's another strike against you. You know what I mean? It's just the real talk, guys. If you're a black man and you're trying to market yourself to different people, especially in white communities, you're going to have to play by a different set of rules because half of them don't even want to talk to you. I'm just being honest with you. And when it comes to business, you got to know how to present yourself a certain way so everybody can take you serious, because the way you present yourself, the way you dress can make or break your sale. If you come up to people's property and you don't look the part, they're not going to take you serious. I'm not saying that as a black man, you can't be successful. What I'm saying is you got to know how to play the game. You got to know how to present yourself. Presentation is everything. If you present yourself in a way and you make customers feel welcome, make them feel comfortable, you got to know how to approach them. Make them smile. People have rough days. People have tough lives. You know what I mean? Crack a joke. You know, you walk up to somebody's house. Hey, how you doing, sir? Could I have a moment of your time? I know I'm, probably annoying you. I'm like a bug flying around. Make them laugh. Make them giggle a little bit. That'll break the ice. You know what I'm saying? So I was giving this young cat a lot of game, a lot of information on how the world works because he's young and he don't really know. You know what I mean? And he was just soaking up all of the information. He was just like, yo, man, this is really good, man. Like, I didn't even look at it that way. And I'm like, yeah, you got to go out there. You got to grind. You got to hustle. You got to do your thing. So that's what we got to do, guys. We got to go out there and live our lives. We deal with issues. We got problems that we're facing, but we got to know how to not dwell on the problem all the time, but figure out a way of having solutions to our own issues rather than looking for somebody else to solve all of our problems. So we all deal with anxiety at times, depression at times, but we don't want you crashing out over all of this war talk. That's why I said be very careful who you listen to. Be careful listening to me. At the same time, I'm not exempt from the people you need to be careful listening to, because maybe I might say something and you might take it the wrong way. My intent was never to make you live in fear. At the same time, I may say something and you may take it the wrong way and you're not listening. And you may look at it like I'm promoting something to make you worry. No. This is to make you be prepared mentally to understand what's going on in the world, because the news media is not going to tell you all this information. They're not. They're going to keep you dumbed down and docile, And now that Trump is telling everybody that, yeah, everything is about peace and, there's a peace offering we're given and ceasefire and all this other stuff. It's to make us feel like everything is good, like he did a great job and he's a peacemaker. Because again, guys, this was Trump about 5 months ago.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
Wars we never get into. See, that was 5 months ago. It sounds good when he did that speech, but look at what happened.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier.
He could have did that before all of this war happened.
There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days.
He contradicted himself, guys.
Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill.
Wow.
Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes.
Think about that, guys. Think about that mess. Listen to this.
This cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
I'm telling you guys, these presidents are selected, not elected, guys. You understand? They're selected. They read off of a teleprompter, and their job is to fulfill an agenda. That's what they're doing. Their job is to fulfill an agenda, because one man just can't be making all these moves. And he struck Iran without even the approval. He didn't even go through the proper channels. He just went out there and just did whatever he wanted to do. You see, you can't do that. Just like when you're on your 9 to 5, you have you know, what is that thing? What is that word? You have a chain of command, right? A chain of command and how things go. You just can't, if your supervisor is here, you can't go and contact his supervisor. You can't send his supervisor an email. You broke the chain of command. You could get in trouble for that and get a memo. You got to go through your supervisor first. Even if now here's the thing. The way chain of command goes, if you went to your supervisor and you have email documentation that you went to your supervisor about an issue and your supervisor is not listening to you, and you went to the supervisor and it's documented, now you can go above the supervisor and send an email to his supervisor. And the way you're going to be covered is you got to CC your supervisor along with his supervisor, and let that supervisor know that you sent emails to your supervisor. That's how you cover yourself when it comes to those situations, so that they don't say, oh, you broke the chain of command, you're in trouble, all that garbage. Trump didn't do that. Trump went and did his own thing. You know what I mean? And that's not cool. You know? That's not cool at all, guys. It's not cool, because all of the stuff that's going on right now, it's just too much. It's too much. I just don't like when content creators fearmonger, because before all of this war stuff took place, guys, there have been content creators that has been wishing for death. They have been wishing for a race war. They've been pushing for white people and black people to keep fighting. They've been praying for this. They make video after video. Oh, there's coming race war. There's coming this. What about, and it's so-called believers that are doing this, Christians, black Hebrew Israelites. They're the ones pushing this mess of hate, you know, because that's how they earn money through social media, by pushing hate. And now that the war stuff began, now they're acting like they weren't the one that was wishing for this. They were wishing for this to happen. Now they're trying to act like they're righteous, like, well, I'm just speaking on prophecy, and no. They want to see bloodshed. They want to see people dying. It's sick, man. They make all these prophecies, but yet, you know, it's like they're false prophecies, some of them. Most of these people are false prophets. You know, like that prophet Lovey, whatever his name is, he's a false prophet too. All of these prophets you see on social media, they're all false prophets. They're from the devil. It's all about money. The gospel is supposed to be for free. If anybody's preaching the gospel and they're charging you a fee, that's a false prophet. Right? When I started YouTube in 2006, there was no monetization. Yes, I do YouTube full-time, a full-time content creator. I earn from YouTube. Of course, I got to provide for my family. This is a business. This is a job. But what I'm trying to tell you, good people, is when I started on YouTube in 2006, there was no monetization. I had a job. You know what I mean? I had a job. But when I was on YouTube, I was doing videos every single minute of the day for free. I didn't care about making any money because I had a passion to give people truth. And this is what I did over and over and over from 2006 all the way to now. You know, from 2006 all the way to now doing content. And even when YouTube introduced monetization, I still didn't jump on board. I didn't care because, again, I had a job. You know what I mean? I had my moderators, not at the time, but before they became moderators, one of my moderators named Sherelle, she's the one who was like, you need to monetize your platform. You're doing a heck of a good job. You know what I'm saying? You need to earn something for your labor. And then I set everything up, boom, 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 boom. And, you know, it is what it is. And then when the pandemic hit, I lost my great career. I'm talking about a great paying job, guys. Lost that I worked for. So, you know, that hurt. It really did, because I loved that job. You know what I'm saying? And they just got rid of me because I didn't want to take the shot. Imagine working your whole life for a career, working and studying. How many of you took civil service exams? A lot of tests. You studied, bought books, expensive books to study. These books are like $80 a pop. And you studying these books day and night, studying for an exam. And you do all of this stuff to get into this career. And then they just take it away from you. Think about that. Does that make any sense? It don't make no sense at all. If you believe I'm spreading BS, why are you watching me? See, the question I have for you, sir, is if you believe that I'm spreading BS, right? Why exactly are you watching a man that's spreading BS? Well, it makes sense, right? That would mean that something's wrong with you. See, you're the one spreading BS. You're watching me. Always remember that. I'm not watching you. You're watching me. You're giving me your energy. You're watching me. The only people that should be here are intelligent people. So if you don't feel that this is a platform for you, if you feel that this is BS, you have the option to just leave. Be a civilized human being rather than being a nuisance, right? And see, guys, it's people like that that make it bad for everybody. Imagine living around a neighbor that talk like that, that think like that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you live around people like that. You could be living around people in a community and they don't like you. You didn't say nothing to them. You didn't do nothing to them. They just don't like you for whatever reason. That's the type of stuff that I get too daily. You're going to have trolls, but at the same time, always use education because it's not really, it's how you respond when people like that show up in your live chat that lets the majority of the viewers understand your character as a man. I'm a family man. I got 4 daughters. I don't got time for the BS, right? Life is too short to be playing all of these games. I got to take care of business. I'm a go-getter. That's what I'm doing, you know? So if you feel that what I'm saying is BS, you don't belong here. I mean, that's like going into a gay bar, right? You're a straight man. You walk into a gay bar to complain that these guys in the bar is gay. Does that make sense? Why are you in here? Outside the club, it says gay bar, we like man meat, but you walk in there to complain. Does that make any sense? Makes no sense. Right? So just leave. It's that simple. So guys, I hope that you gained something from the video. I hope that you gained some information, some knowledge. If you like the content and you feel I did a good job, you like the commentary, you like my approach, consider subscribing to the channel. Consider subscribing to the channel. It will definitely help us out over here. If you haven't already, double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up is very important on YouTube. I'm not asking you to give it a thumbs up because I just like a bunch of thumbs up. When you thumb up a video, that is the currency of social media. It is what tells the algorithm that people enjoy your work. So what happened is the algorithm will reward me for my work. Now, the worst thing that can be done, worst case scenario, is that you like my work, but you don't click the like button. Now you're doing me a disservice because it's like you like the mechanic that worked on your car. You like his service, but you don't give him a tip. You don't pay him. You complain, but you really like the work. You see what I'm saying? That you're not helping the mechanic. You want to make sure that your mechanic is always good. You know what I'm saying? If somebody do a good job, you want to make sure that you take care of them. That's just good business practices. If you're a homeowner and you hired some contractors to build your house and you see the workers out there working hard in the hot sun, right? What's really good is when you make sure you take care of those workers. Even though they're being paid for their job in building your house, it's always a good idea to get a hold of the foreman, whoever's in charge, let them know, hey, give all the guys a break. You know what I'm saying? Lunch is on me. Boom, boom, boom. And take care of them. Those workers are going to respect you because not only are they getting paid, you respect their time. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be the kind of person that understand it's a giving and a receiving. If you receive something from the message and it helped you, learn how to give something back. So thumbing up the video helps the platform to grow because what it does, it tells YouTube to distribute the video to more people so that more people can get the experience you got. Right? So we're going to get up on out of here, do what we got to do. And it is what it is, guys. Beware of people that mock you, that want to discourage you. Those are nothing more than demons, right? Those are demons that are there to try to distract you, just like we're being distracted by war and terror. You still got to be vigilant and keep your eyes open. Sleeper cells are in the United States. What was done to Iran is pretty much done. They're going to want to retaliate soon, and we don't know when. So it's about being vigilant, understanding the signs of the times, get right with the Most High. If you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, I suggest you get with him today because you're going to need to be in prayer to keep your peace and your sanity because we don't know what's coming. We don't know what's going on. The Messiah made it very clear there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not trouble. We don't want you to live in fear. At the same time, we want you to be informed of what's going on. So I hope that I did my job in this broadcast and everybody walks away with a sense of peace. Right? So that being said, we're going to get up on out of here. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Salute to the mods in the chat. I see Caramel Kimmy Kim in the building. The Dub Man. And shout out to y'all for y'all support. We out of here, guys. Rate, comment, and subscribe. We out. Peace.